And damn, it's cold. It has to be this cold for me to get the woods to myself. I didn't bring gloves. I should bring gloves. So yeah, it's well, what day is it? It's 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 8th or 9th of February. Oh, and for Manchester, we're kind of in the teeth of a storm, and it's not a very impressive storm for anybody that lives out in the boonies of America or anywhere else. So yeah, it's 9 o'clock in the morning, or about 9:30, given that I've been wandering about. So this is just me checking in, shooting some test footage with my Canon EOS M, which is, to my mind, in a lot of ways similar to a 600D T3i, in that it's got a microphone socket, it records at 1080p, it's got an 18 megapixel sensor. The only thing it doesn't have, which it really should have had, is a flip out screen, and was wildly unpopular when it was launched because it was expensive and it didn't do as much as a cheaper DSLR, which is fine by me because you can now get the body for about 100 quid, about $110, $120, which for an HD camera that also has a limited amount of Magic Lantern support, and it's fine by me. So if you've been hunting down 600Ds and seen them go up in price, then yeah, have a look at an EOS M. It's the first of their mirrorless cameras. Ooh. But yeah, my hands are freezing. So yeah. So I'm going to try and intercut various bits of footage and get my editing chops together, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Alright, I'm having to switch hands with the camera, so excuse any wobbliness. So yeah, I'm off for my usual woodland patrol. The ground's nice and hard, but the downside of that is I am going to be paying attention and not looking into the camera when I go down the steps I normally go down, as those are going to be icy, and my left hand's already gone numb. So yeah, it's cold. It's got to be -2 or 3. I don't want to come back with frostbite. So yes. So yeah, the project I'm currently working on is a video essay on Sun Tzu or Sun Tzu, The Art of War. So yeah, which is now 2,500 years old. Which reminds me of the sort of like the weird question when missionaries first went to China and they were told about the life of Jesus and the fact that it hadn't been written down, and the first question the Chinese asked was, why didn't he turn up in China then when we could read and write? Exactly. So yeah, so the world continueth. Donald Trump's impeachment trial begins today. It looks like we're turning the corner on the whole COVID nightmare, which is important because, I'll, finally get to be able to go back to work. When this all began, I joked quite often that it would be weird if I had an entire year to myself to do whatever I wanted, and in some cases that's worked out, in some cases it hasn't. If I magically got a year off from some benevolent good spirit and the world had continued as it was and I had had a year off with all the resources, things might have gone very different. But it's one of those weird things. You know, depression gets us all. So look after your mental health, everybody. You know, and do get outside, get some exercise. The 5 E's that will keep you sane. You know, make your environment better. Make sure that you've educated yourself. Make sure you've expressed yourself. You've got some exercise. And you've got some entertainment in the day. And you can get all that done in about an hour. So, although I'm the worst proponent of this, whenever I do get out go for a walk, I feel a lot better. So there. So I'm just going to stop again and get some footage. Won't be a minute. So yeah. Just get a nice comparison. Annoyingly, I think for these sorts of filming bits, there's a so yeah, so for these wandering around, it might be better to just use the action cam. I'll be getting myself a gimbal next month sometime. So yeah, this is all one of those things. So who knows what the future holds? The world's still in chaos. The new variant of, I think it's the South African variant, which is unfortunate because they're going to start naming these places, these new variants on the place where they first appear. So certain places like Brazil, the UK, South Africa and Wuhan are going to get almost like the rap for producing these viruses, but these viruses were kind of inevitable. So yeah. I might even include a bit here from my UK preppers appearance. I called that down on myself. So yeah, I'm just trying to be open to getting things sorted out and all that sort of jazz. I've definitely found that if I multitask, I feel like I'm being more efficient, and that's more of a win. It's more gamified. So if I'm waiting for breakfast to cook, I do a little bit of tidying up in the kitchen, a bit of washing up, you know, that sort of thing. So that's the thing I've discovered about myself. I mean, your ability to hack your own brain to get stuff done, you know, understand, you know, try a few variants if you've got no, you know, urge to actually do things. But seriously, every time I've cleaned up a corner of the house, you know, or tidied it, or swept the floor, or done the hoovering, or done the washing up, and I see a nice clean deck, as it were, of a tidy area of my house, I like living there more. So I'm going to continue trying to do that, and yeah, just try and make things better. You know, improve your environment, improve your brain, learn stuff, be educated, even if it's just watching a documentary on something that's actually interesting. You know. So yeah, go to DocumentaryMania.com if you're struggling, and if you're kind of feeling like you haven't got any entertainment and you haven't watched it, go and check out The Expanse. It's awesome. But yeah, so the Art of War thing, I'm currently scripting that because I don't want to spend hours and hours and hours out in the woods, you know, for months at a time. So I need to figure out some ways of making it visually interesting. So yeah. So there's not much to look at in this episode. I'm sorry, I haven't done a lot. Well, I've done stuff, but it's not much I can show on camera. I shall try and produce some media over the course of the next few days. Of course, I have been continuously producing media on Mixcloud, so if you look up the channel Team Human, then Mixcloud could certainly be the one that's worth watching. Yeah, we're producing a couple of shows a week on that, so do keep an eye out. It's music, but it's also chat. If you want to be on the show and you want to have a discussion and create essentially a random chat, then do so. You can also get the community radio thing that I do, Sonic Sunday, which is largely all music with me and a friend of mine called Miles. Check that out. It's almost guaranteed to be stuff you haven't heard before, because 90% of the time it's stuff that I haven't heard before. And he's got a very keen interest in promoting new bands and, you know, small release artists and stuff like that. So yeah. So, you know, we are producing stuff. I'm trying to get people into participating, and all you need to participate is a reasonably good microphone. I'm sure people will forgive you if you don't have top spec kit, you know, and a pair of headphones. Please have a pair of headphones if you're going to contribute. And we can pretty much supply music on the fly, but if you've got something really hard to get, you know, come armed with links or get in touch beforehand. Would it be nice to hear from you? But, you know, I understand if media is a thing that you consume rather than create. You know, that's kind of why you all support me, and I'm very grateful for that. So yeah, that's just been a quick wander in the woods with some extra footage put in so that maybe I can add a few bits and pieces. And I'll highlight the EOS M footage, and we'll see how that goes, whether that's a good camera for moving around with, because I do have a gimbal for a DSLR, and this camera should mount on it as long as I don't put too big a lens on it. So yeah, I shall play with that, and if it snows again tonight, I shall come out and shoot some more snowy woodland goodness, and hopefully, you know, I can find some gloves or something. But yeah, it's really pretty. It's all good. You know, I'm still alive. I'm sorry that the videos haven't been coming out as far as possible, and every time I come out I realise that I really did enjoy the exercise, and I try and multitask while I'm out here, so I'm getting my exercise and shooting my videos. So I want to bring that up so it's a more common thing. But when your day has no shape, it's very easy to just sit there in front of YouTube and absorb loads of really pointless stuff. So yeah. It is quite pretty out here. The snow kind of sanitises everything. But given that my house is also cold, it will be nice to get back to it being reasonably warm all the time. That would be cool. But we don't know. We don't know what weather's like anymore. We can't predict that summer will be warm or spring will be warmer. You know, we don't know when in the year it's going to get warm. You know, this is the vanguard of essentially the global crisis that we're facing, and the only person that seems to be actively doing anything about it, you know, is now in power. So we can but hope. But yeah. So keep on keeping on. And I'm going to hopefully overlay some of this with short bits of footage from the EOS M. There's a nice bracket fungus there. I'm hopefully going to be getting into some hydroponics and some some mushroom growing. So mycology and hydroponics, because I think if you're going to master anything, you might as well make them, you may as well get some sort of experience in making it good and making it happen. So yeah, so there's everything to play for. I've got some how-to videos coming up, which I might start shooting the base footage for today, and those will be with me off camera. But yeah, so thanks for watching, and do take care. And end greed, end poverty, end hate, or we all die. And we must sort something out about this, because, you know, we're letting, you know, the wealthy dictate policy on this planet, and that's got to stop. So however, you know, whatever ideas you can put towards that, maybe that could be the discussion for some Team Human stuff. But yeah, take care.